Hey guys, please excuse the bad head. I woke up and I was like, let's make a video! Wow. So I posted a video which was basically just explaining the connection between the chord progression John Mayer uses on The Hurt and the connection that has with the outro on Friends, Lovers or Nothing on the Battle Studies album. And then someone commented and said, could you please do a tutorial on the chord progression? Chord progression. I'll explain it sort of in player technical terms too. I'll sort of try and cover all bases so that no matter where you are on the theory spectrum of things, you'll be able to grasp it. So the progression I'm talking about, it's used in The Hurt and it's also used at the end of Friends, Lovers or Nothing, and it goes like this. And I'll play it in The Hurt style because I really like the rhythm he uses in The Hurt. And I call that morning hens. Okay, so the chord progression is pretty simple. So the first chord you're going to play, I tend to set up my A chord, the very basic A chord, just like a bar. Because I don't tend to play the E on top of that. Mainly for this because you're just playing an A5, which means you're playing the first and the fifth of the chord exclusively. You get the power chord sound. And they're useful. So what he's doing here is your first chord. And if you can get that rhythm down, just these two guys, middle two strings, second fret. Second chord you're going to play, it's an E major chord in first inversion, basically this. Basically what that is on the E string, you're going to set up on the 4th fret. You're not playing the 2nd string. You're going to play the 3rd string on the 2nd fret, 4th string on the 4th fret. So you get these 3 notes. It's called first inversion because you're playing... Okay, I hope you guys are okay with the theory jazz of all this stuff. It's called first inversion because instead of you just playing a regular E chord, you're taking the 2nd note of the triad. So in E, that's E, G sharp, B. And you're putting the G sharp as the first note, not the E. So you get this really nice sound. It's not a final sound. This is your E. And this is your E in first inversion. Same chord. I like using inversions, they're quite nice. So, first chord, A5. 2nd chord, E in first inversion. 3rd chord, a lot easier. It's just an F sharp minor 7. You basically just bar the entire 2nd fret. And I tend to do that like this with my thumb here, because you're not going to play the 2nd string. 1, 3, 4, and 5. So you get this chord. And it's a minor 7 chord. Funky by itself. Put it in context. And again, that's just a bar over the 2nd fret. Those are the notes you're going to want to get. And really, the way to really tell you're doing this correctly is really listen to the top notes of the chords, what he's emphasizing. He's going for this. Next chord is pretty easy. You're going to set up an A7, which is like an A dominant chord, except you set it up like a basic triad. So you've got a 5th fret on the E string, 5th fret on the D string, so you've got these 2 notes, and 6th fret on the G string. And all you're going to do is, see this? Move it from the 6th to the 7th fret as you play it. This is a normal A7, and this is an A7 sus4, because this sounds sort of unbalanced. That note wants to go back here. That's why it's called sus. It's suspended. It wants to go back. There's a suspension there. So this is an unstable note. It wants to go. Then what you're going to play is a D major 7 as a triad. So you're going to set up on the A string 5th fret, play D. Then you're going to set up on the D string 4th fret. So there you go. And then 6th fret on the G string. And what you'll notice is, if you like John Mayer's song Clarity, take the exact shape. Get those 3 notes, get that shape down, and move that exact shape so your middle finger is now on the 3rd fret, playing a G on the E string. Check this out. Totally sidetracked. I really apologize. This is going to be way longer than I'd anticipated. You're nearly there. Hang in with me. G7. What you're going to do is, you remember the A7? Did the sus4 and back. Move this down 2 frets. And resolve that. So you've got a G7 sus4 to a G7, back to your A5. Last chord is an E7. You're going to want to play the E string open, A string 7th fret, D string 6th fret, and G string 7th fret. So you get this really nice. Now, let me just run that real slowly with everything we talked about, because I know I've just babbled, and this is what happens to my brain at this time in the morning. So your first chord was that A5. Then you've got the E in first inversion. Then you've got the F sharp minor 7. Then you've got the A7 going to the sus4 and back. Then you've got the D major 7 triad, G7 sus4, G7, A5, first chord, and then that E dominant. And now, with the rhythm. So I hope that that was fairly easy to follow along with. I have the tendency to babble, but please, yeah, comment, rate, subscribe, let me know how that was for you guys, and if there's some aspect of it that can be improved, please let me know, because what's really important for me is that you guys can get that and now can go and play it, because I think it's a really pretty progression. Don't feel constricted by what I've just showed you. That's just how I learned how to play it. There are many different ways. So, enjoy. I'm Robert Gillies. You just got robbed, most likely of somebody who should be fairly awake when they do these. But I was eager to get in there and help you guys out. Ciao.